Welcome back to Triple Goddess Soapery. My name is Angela, and today we are making a soap called Mermaid Cove. And this soap has a story. So first we're going to talk about the soap, and then I'm going to tell you a little story. So this is my regular soap recipe that you can find on my Patreon. And I have added to it my kaolin clay as well as my goat milk powder. And I like to just get it all mixed up really well before I put in my lye solution. That way I can be sure that everything is blended really well and there's no chunks, and then I don't have to worry about my soap batter accelerating. So that is what we're going to do first. It's what I always try to remember to do. I don't always do it, but that is what I try to do. I also have my lye solution, my danger water, just sitting off to the left there. And here we go. We're ready to go. I'm going to take my snap lid off. These are spill-proof snap lid containers by Starfrit, and they make it really easy to make my lye water. So we're just going to pour in the lye water, and we break the fall with a spatula just to help prevent bubbles. Air bubbles are not the end of the world though, so if you have some air bubbles, it's no big deal. You can smack your mold down on the counter a few times, try and knock them out. I personally find that I don't have that many air bubbles in my soap, so it's really not an issue. Just going to bang the blender on the bottom a few times just to get any air bubbles out of that. And then we are good to go. We are ready to blend our soap. Now this is a soap that is 3 colors. I am using a fragrance oil called Saltwater Mermaid by Windy Point Soap, and I'm going to show it to you in a second here. Also too, when you're blending your soap batter, here I am checking to make sure that it is completely emulsified and that there's no separation. And it all looks good. And it's at this point that, depending on the fragrance oil, if it's a well-behaving fragrance oil, I will just put it directly into my batter now and then split out for my colors. And there we go, that is Saltwater Mermaid. And as an aside, this fragrance smells amazing. People love it, I love it. I've done it in shampoo and conditioner. I've done it in what else have I done it in? A perfume oil, and now it's in the soap. Oh, and I also have it in a bath bomb, in a mermaid egg bath bomb. Yeah, it's really nice. All right, so we're just gonna blend this in until it's well blended and there's no more streaks of the oil. And then we're gonna split off our colors. I'm using a blue, a teal, and a pink along with white. And if I remember, I will link those down below so that you can find these colors if you wish. The green might actually be called Mermaid's Kiss or Mermaid Green or something. I don't know. We'll look it up anyway, and I'll let you know what the colors were. Actually, I could do that right now. I do have I use Soapmaker 3, which means that when I'm sitting at my computer, I have all of my recipes at my fingertips. So let's just check. We will check for you here while we do this. So, and there we are. This is my water soluble titanium dioxide. I'm just pouring that in, and then we're gonna blend all the colors really well, and then we'll get ready to pour our soap, and we're gonna do an in the pot swirl. All right, so what colors did we use in this soap? I did not use the what I thought. So we used Turquoise Delight, Almost Ice, and Caribbean Kiss. And I'm not sure which one's the pink. It might be the Almost Ice. I'm not sure. Anyway, those are the colors that I used. That's what my software tells me. Now with titanium dioxide, it really does not blend properly or incorporate without being done mechanically with a blender. So hand stirring will only get you so far, but if you really want to get that titanium dioxide mixed properly into your soap batter, you're going to need to use an immersion blender, which is what I'm doing here. Also, too, something to note that most of the time, titanium dioxide will speed up the trace on your soap batter. It'll get thick quicker. So that is something to consider when you're making soap. and using titanium dioxide. Now we're just going to, making sure it's all mixed in good. And then we're just gonna blend up our colors. Then everything is gonna go into the pot. We're gonna give it a quick mix, and then we're gonna pour. Now, this soap I made, I wanna say in late summer, and here I am doing the voiceover in January, but it is what it is. So this soap was made in the late summer, and there are 3 bars left. It was kind of a slow seller in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it just picked right up, and I sold so many at Christmas time. Like I said, I think I only have 3 left on the shelf. So it is still available on the website, but there's only a couple bars left. Now, this is a soap that I do use embeds on top of, but I did not film the actual making of the embeds, but we will talk through it when we get there. And also with this video, I usually speed up my videos a lot, or at least, 2 to 3 times, but I am trying to go with a longer format video. So, 15 to 30 minutes and see how that performs. So you can let me know in the comments down below if you like this longer format better and more chat and just more soap making in general. I would appreciate that. As well, I do appreciate you watching my video today. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button for more soapy content. It really does help out the channel a lot. Lets YouTube know that you like these types of videos, and YouTube will put more of these in front of you. Now, I will say this, that I don't know if I've said this already, but this might be one of my absolute favorite soaps. It's definitely my favorite story of all of my soaps. Now, if you've been following me or watching my videos for any length of time, you know that my soaps are all British Columbia inspired, so they're all named after places and objects and landmarks in British Columbia. And this soap is no different. This soap is called Mermaid Cove because there is actually a Mermaid Cove in British Columbia, just outside of Powell River. And the reason it's called Mermaid Cove is because there's an actual mermaid in the water in Mermaid Cove, which is in Saltery Bay Provincial Park. And I will put a picture up on the screen right about here to show you what the mermaid looks like. So the story goes that there is a mermaid called the Emerald Princess. She is 575 pounds. It's a statue that is about 9 feet tall that was lowered into the water on March 16th, 1989. So we're just about at the anniversary. She's about 60 feet below the surface in Mermaid Cove. A local sculptor, Simon Morris, created the Emerald Princess. He and local diving legend Jim Willoughby hashed out their plan after Jim's wife Jody came up with the idea. And since then, divers have been coming from all around the world to look at this mermaid. Now, apparently, the diving around Powell River is considered world class. So if you're a diver or know someone that is, it might be worth checking out if you're ever in the area. And just as a follow-up, Saltery Bay Provincial Park is in Powell River. I believe Powell River is only accessible by boat. You might be able to drive up if you look at a map, but to be honest, I've never been to Powell River. It's one of those places that I know where it is, but I've never been there. I know that, most people take a ferry, and I would think that if you had to get there by land, it would be an arduous journey. And if you know, please feel free to correct me. But yeah, it's mostly accessible by boat. Now, back to the soap. We are just about ready to do our pour. I'm just gonna give this a little spin around here. We don't want to muddy up the colors too much, but the soap batter is a really, really good consistency. It's a medium trace, but it's not super thick. It's nice and it's still pourable, but the colors are staying separated and holding their shape. They're not getting muddied. And all we're going to do is just pour it into the mold. We're not going to do any additional hanger swirls or anything like that. We're just going to pour it in and let the soap batter fall where it may. Give it a couple little taps down, and then we will be ready to place our embeds on top. And because the soap batter is just such the perfect consistency, there wasn't a lot of waiting between having the soap batter poured and then being able to place my embeds on top. So here are my embeds. I made some mermaid tails and some seashells. And what I did was I just, from a previous soap extravaganza, I made some cold processed embeds to go on my soap. And then all I did was once they were ready, I just, kind of left them, for a few days. And then I used my airbrush that has mica and rubbing alcohol in it. And I just airbrushed them. And I usually do that for my bath bombs. If you've seen my mermaid egg and my dragon's egg bath bombs, they're airbrushed and they're kind of iridescent and, multiple colors. And yeah, so that's what I did. I airbrushed them with the mica with various colors. I used the same colors as in the batter, but I probably used a few other colors. I don't remember now, but that's what I did. And then once I was done airbrushing, I just spritzed them with a little bit of 99% rubbing alcohol. And that actually does a really good job of setting the mica so that you're not getting mica all over your hands. I will also say that I didn't plan out how I was going to lay everything down. I just kind of played it by ear a little bit. Also, too, I did consider putting the mermaid tails on the soap so that they were, sticking up, which I'm sure you've seen before. But I didn't have enough mermaid tails to do that, and I didn't want to buy more molds. So I just laid them on top, and I will say it is rather aesthetically pleasing seeing the soap when it's all completely done. It's so beautiful. Of course, when I cut the soap, it does, chop some mermaid tails in half and stuff, but that's okay. Now, I do cut out some of this because, it's a bit much just watching me place seashells on the on the top of the soap. So one of the ways that I name my soaps is I like to, buy a scent or fragrance oils or come up with color combinations and then decide, what am I going to name that now? And then I start Googling or looking at like Google Maps at the map of BC, and I'll kind of like drill down and look closer at communities and places and lakes and different uh, um, landmarks and stuff to try and come up with a name. Sometimes a fragrance oil like this, being saltwater mermaid, I'm like, I wonder if there's anything mermaid related in BC. So I just typed, mermaids in BC, and Mermaid Cove came up, and I thought that was amazing. So it was just kind of a perfect storm. I had a mermaid soap that I wanted to make, I had a mermaid fragrance oil, and then I found Mermaid Cove in British Columbia. And you're going to see a lot of my soaps are kind of like that. Some of the names are definitely harder to find something that works. I have a few soaps that will be released in 2024, and either sometimes the fragrance oil came first, sometimes the name came first. Like I said, I like to look at the map, especially when I'm bored and just laying in bed, looking for like the different names of lakes and towns and villages and maybe some different landmarks and things, and just kind of, come up with a story, come up with a plan, come up with a name, and then I start looking for fragrance oils. I'm gonna have a root beer soap coming out in the next few months. and I had fun trying to find something relatable in BC for root beer. So that'll be a surprise coming out in the next couple months, so stay tuned for that. All right, everything is placed, and I'm just going to hose it down with some 99% um, rubbing alcohol. And isn't she beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy with how this soap came out. And I think I'll probably bring her back again in late summer, probably in July, maybe August, July, August. It's definitely more work than most of my soaps, but she's definitely worth it. Now, once I'm done with this, all I do is I take my soap and I put it in an old Amazon box. I close the lid and then I throw a towel over it and I just leave it there for 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, 100% of the time, they always go through gel phase. I never have to worry about my soaps overheating. Or for those who put their soap in the oven, I never have to worry about, someone turning the oven on and ruining my soap. So that's how I achieve gel phase. And here we go with the cut. So she's gorgeous, and you can see right there in the background, there are my dragon eggs and my mermaid eggs. In case you're interested, they're not in stock at the moment. I'll probably restock them probably in May, I would think. Probably in May, we shall see. And here is the cut. Beautiful drop swirl in the pot swirl. You can see all the colors are nice and, easily defined. They're not muddied. And the embeds just look pretty on top. And here we go. I'm just going to, because I'm so proud of this soap, we're just going to show you every single one. So I made 2 loaves of soap with this. My bars are 1 inch wide, and I got 20 bars plus some soap ends that I use in my soap sample bags. I take 120-ish, 120, 130 grams of soap, which is pretty much what my bars weigh, at least, these ones. And I put much grams of soap in a Sisal soap bag, and I sell them on my website and at markets. And they're quite popular. I actually had a lady at Christmas time come and buy 6 of them for her doing some kind of like Secret Santa thing or something. Just like a gift exchange with her friends. So yeah, I thought that was nice. So soaps do not go to waste here. And there we go. My mermaid tail got cut in half, but it's all good. Alrighty, so I'm just going to say again, thank you so much for joining me with this video. This is probably, like I said, one of my favorite soaps and is very special to me. It actually makes me emotional every time, and I don't know why. I have no attachment to Mermaid Cove. I'm not a diver. I'm not even from British Columbia originally. I moved here 18 years ago from Nova Scotia, and yet every time I talk about this soap, it makes me emotional. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm just going to cue the music now and let you watch the rest of the soap cutting. And there are a couple pictures at the end of the final product. Thanks again, and we will talk soon.